Aggie facts.
Big day for
Walt
the
B.
Aggies. A win is a win, baby. That's all I can say. A win is a
Recap
win.
Arkansas versus
This team is
A&M.
growing every single game. I've told these guys repeatedly, you know, this team has to be able to face adversity, step up. They're maturing. They're getting better and better each play, better and better each game. I watch other guys' videos. I see the comments. I see Hog fans say, "Oh, the Hogs gonna run wild. They gonna do this. They gonna do that." I see a blowout happening. Yeah, that was the look in the first quarter. But what happens is teams make adjustments. That's what sets you apart from other teams that make you a top tier program. Now, I'm not saying that A&M does not have work to do, which they do have a lot to do. But I can see the growth from game to game, from play to play. Max Johnson did a great job in this game. And if a lot of people want to say, "Oh, Arkansas gave the game away," oh yeah, there were a few plays that the Aggies had that could have made this game a 2-touchdown lead for themselves, because what they did, they took the momentum and they kept feeding off of it. There was, like I said, there were some plays that could have made this game easily 14. The Aggies could have been up by 14. There was a bomb miss in the middle of the field by Moose Muhammad. The Aggies got, 5 penalties? They got 60 yards taken away. Those are beneficial yards. And that took away from their total. They still posted more yards this game than they have any other game. And like I said, the growth is showing. Max Johnson is becoming a quarterback that's coming into his own. He's getting to know his receivers. We did lose a big-time receiver and playmaker in our leader, Anais Smith, this past weekend. But I feel like Anais is that fighter. He's going to try to get back on the field as soon as possible. But I don't know the extent of his injury. But, prayers and more blessings to him. I know how that is, man. And going back to the game, Jimbo Fisher did a pretty good job coaching this game. They managed the ball well. Now, there were instances where I think we needed to pick it up. In the first quarter, it did not look good. It looked like we were on our way to doing the exact same thing we were doing every other game. A-Chain, hats off. Hats off to that guy. He took the game on his back and he opened it up for us to do what we needed to do offensively. His running game opened up the passing game. And then the passing game opened up the run game. That speed is second to none. He has wheels. And like I said, we had plays that could have put us up by 14. Everybody's going to be like, the fumble was a fluke. That was the turning point of the game. It happened. Plays happen in football. It's a game of inches, and everybody calls it luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity. KJ Jefferson should have held onto the ball. I've seen it way too many times in the NFL, in college, in high school, even in Pee Wee, trying to dive over a goal line. If you don't secure the ball, it's going to get popped out. Good heads up by Tariq Chappelle, being there, being able to catch the ball running. Good heads up play by Damani Richardson, taking the ball out of his hand and taking it back the other way. You know what? This defense is coming together. They are gelling. They seeing what happens, that you can make plays on defense to back your offense. And that's what swung the momentum. Now, Arkansas, I knew what KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders was going to do. And they did it. Except Rocket Sanders didn't have as big of a game as everybody thought he should have, because that's the game plan. Cancel out Rocket. Now KJ becomes the main focal point. KJ did exactly what KJ is going to do. He's a hard man. That's a grown man to bring down. He uses receivers. And, sorry, Arkansas fans, I don't know the 100% about you guys as receivers, but some of them did come show out and play. And that's another thing. That's coaching. On that momentum, it should have been going. Sam Pittman needed to manage his timeouts better towards the end of the game, but also he needed to keep that momentum going for his team. Whoever the OC is, you guys were gonna go up 21-7. But after the momentum swing, it just declined. You guys didn't get back on track till the fourth quarter. So from 1.5 quarters, you guys were dominating completely. And then everything just went downhill. You guys didn't try to do anything until the fourth quarter came back into play. And I can't necessarily say that that's on Arkansas. A&M defense started finding their confidence. They started finding themselves, and they started making plays happen. Chris Russell stepped up big this game. Shamar Stewart, Shamar Turner. These guys were starting to erupt. They start finding that confidence. They saw the ability and what they was capable of, and that's what causes growth. That's what causes experience. That's what's causing these guys to grow up in SEC games. Next time people will listen when I tell them, I say this game can go one of two ways. That's why I'm not making a prediction. Unless I see it's just a flat, crazy advantage somewhere, I'm not putting my money on one team. I'm going to tell you what can happen. This game can go one of two ways. It can go Arkansas way or it can go A&M way. Because I know both teams are very talented. This is the SEC West. There ain't no give it to me game. You're going to have to go out there and earn it. This ain't every other Power 5 conference or any other college football conference. This is the SEC West. This is the most you're going to get to NFL prepared and ready. And right now, the SEC West is just good. Think about the next 2 to 3 years. This is going to be a division that is going to be so tough. You got Brian Kelly at LSU. Them boys are coming up game after game. They growing up too. They finding themselves. They finding out how to win games. Mississippi State, Mike Leach, Will Rogers. Will Rogers is a scary quarterback, man, which is our next test. You got Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Them boys are looking real good. They looking really, really good. You got Auburn. Everybody wants to talk about Auburn. We'll get into that on another video. But they finding out ways to grind and win as well. You got Arkansas. This is their first loss. I felt like this was a team to beat. They had the complete package. They just couldn't put it together. Even with that last second field goal. We missed a field goal. They missed a field goal. But nobody can say, oh, they gave this game away. It was a hard-fought game on both ends. I'm screaming and I'm my pressure high. The first quarter, it's crazy. Once they got settled, I got to calm down. And that's what any fan, they like, you know how you are. Standing, watching the game, yelling at the TV. My wife looking at me. They can't hear you. Yeah, they can. But we still yelling at the TV, right? Still got Alabama in the division.
Bama fans talking to you.
Alabama is growing. But they don't look anything like they used to. I see that there's some pieces missing, but Saban is such a good coach, it just kind of blends. But they'll kind of figure that out this next weekend when they play Arkansas. That's going to be a big test for them to see if they can come out of that. Then after Arkansas, they have A&M. All these guys, we going to whip A&M butt. All these Bama fans, man, listen. Talking. I don't want to hear it. I just want to see you put up or shut up. That's it. We're going to talk about that in a video later on as well. So, from me to the Hogs fans, I take my hat off to y'all. Great game. Great hard-fought game. Now, we're finna get into this next game that we have coming up. Mississippi State. Mississippi State. Both Mississippi schools have scared me from, I think, the beginning, since we entered the SEC. But these past couple years, it's gotten a little scarier. I was more scared when Hugh Freeze was there. Hugh Freeze is a mastermind on offense. I love the way he runs that offense. But now, Lane Kiffin starting to become that version as well. That's something that scares me about Ole Miss. Now, Mississippi State, Mike Leach, he's the grandfather of this spread offense. Will Rogers, hell of a quarterback. He can throw to his playmakers without even having to think about it. That's going to be a matchup. This game can go one or two ways. Like I said, I'm going to give you two scenarios on how we can win. I'm going to give you Mississippi State. Mississippi State get you out of space early. Mike Leach, in them first two drives, he going to try to put up 14 and see what adjustments you make. If you don't make the right adjustments, it's bombs over Baghdad. He going to keep applying pressure. He going to keep running. He going to mix that running. He going to mix that pass. He going to tear you up. They have 5 wide receivers with over 100 yards this season. They got Thomas, Griffin, Johnson. They got a stable. And they have playmakers. They have guys that can make you miss, or they can just flat out embarrass you. A&M is going to have to step it up. DJ Durkin, they coming for you. Now, the defense, they like to keep their offense on the field. So defense is trying to do what they got to do to get you on 3 and out. Now, if you keep that defense on the field, they are a bit undersized, but they are fast. They will corral the football. They are giving up some yardage. They're giving up over 4 yards of play. And, I understand they play lesser opponents, but, it's college football. You can't be 100% every single play. You can give your all every play, but sometimes the ball doesn't go the way you want it to go. That's just the luck of the draw. Now, with that being said, if Mississippi State does what they need to do, it could be a long day for the Aggies. It could be a blowout. This game could be, let's say, the Aggies ain't giving up over 20 to anybody, but if Will Rogers does what Will Rogers can do, and the Aggies don't adjust, this game could be 30 to 14, 35 to 14, let's say that. Now, on the flip side, let's go to my Aggies. Jimbo. Play calling has gotten a little bit better. The O-line is gelling. They seeing what's going on. Now, I know we will be without Anaya Smith, and that's a big game adjustment right there. But we do have the talent of the next man up to do what we got to do. You got Keith Brown, Evan Stewart is finding confidence, which is very scary because that would have gave us 2 playmakers on that field that next day. But Evan Stewart, I see Chris Marshall, he's a little frustrated. He wants to get his reps in. But we still have veteran receivers like Moose Muhammad. I feel like he wants that game back. We still got Jalen Preston. We still got Chase Lane. We got Keith Brown. Scary fast. You guys think Devon A-Chain is fast. Look at Keith Brown. Defense. Defense is going to keep playing. Defense is growing every game. They're making adjustments on their own. Like, Damani Richardson is a true leader on that back end. I see them playing. I seen Miles Jones come in the game. He got off to a rocky start, but then they started recovering. As long as A&M keeps everything in front of them, I feel like DJ Durkin, you're going to have to apply pressure to Will Rogers. That's what LSU did. I feel like that's what we're going to need to do. We definitely need to send blitzes his way. He is a very polished quarterback. I feel like he's the top quarterback in the league right now in the SEC. Will Rogers knows when to get the ball out of his hands. But he does have a problem with holding on to the ball too long, and that's why he's taken a few sacks this year. You know, when we got that coverage downfield, I feel like we're gonna have to rush 3 and drop 8. They do have those playmakers, but we also have playmakers on our secondary, and so our linebackers are now starting to come into their groove. They finding themselves, man. This defense is going to get scary before we hit Alabama. So, with that being said, if A&M does what they need to do, it's going to be a low-scoring game on Mississippi State's end. I feel like that game will be Mississippi State 7, A&M 28. That's my prediction.